The drama surrounding this transfer window feels more like a full-blown saga than a series of negotiations. Every top club in England is moving with urgency, every decision carrying the weight of identity, pride, and legacy. At the heart of it, all is the stunning twist in Paris, where Gianluigi Donnarumma, once hailed as the goalkeeper destined to dominate Europe for the next decade, finds himself cast aside by Luis Enrique, officially dropped from PSG's Super Cup squad. The coach made it clear this was not rotation, not a tactical shuffle, but a fundamental rejection. "I want a different type of goalkeeper," Enrique declared. A brutal statement for a player who has already lifted a Champions League trophy, multiple Ligue 1 titles, and countless domestic cups. Donnarumma, emotional and wounded, admitted that he felt discarded. His words were raw, almost like a farewell letter, as he thanked the fans, expressed his heartbreak, and hinted that his time in Paris had come to a painful close. In that moment, the market opened wide. Europe's giants smelled blood in the water. The surprise wasn't that United, Bayern, and Juventus were linked. Those were natural suitors. The real shock was Manchester City's sudden emergence. As a frontrunner, Pep Guardiola, who prizes goalkeepers who can command with both hands and feet, has always admired Donnarumma's towering presence. But this pursuit comes with a caveat. It only happens if Ederson departs. With Galatasaray pushing hard to secure the Brazilian, PSG wants around €50 million for their unsettled keeper, but City considers the figure inflated given the players' contract situation. Still, the idea of Donnarumma between the posts at the Etihad adds another layer of drama to a summer already filled with unexpected twists. The Italian, once the future of PSG, could now become the guardian of Manchester City's dynasty. While City flirts with a shock coup, the chaos at Tottenham is equally gripping. Son Heung-min's exit to LAFC and James Maddison's devastating injury left Ange Postecoglou's attack gutted. The solution? A revolution. Spurs are pushing on two fronts simultaneously: Manchester City's diminutive yet dazzling winger Savinho and Crystal Palace's midfield maestro Eberechiez. On paper, both moves look like alternatives, but Thomas Frank, overseeing Tottenham's rebuild, has made it clear he wants both. Savinho, frustrated at City with his minutes dwindling behind new arrivals, is open to a switch, especially with Spurs promising a more central role in a attack. City, keen to maintain future control, might allow the move with a buyback clause, reducing the upfront cost to £45 million. Meanwhile, Ez, fresh off a season of brilliance, with 14 goals and 11 assists, sits at the center of a tug-of-war between Arsenal, Spurs, and possibly City themselves. His release clause has expired, handing Palace the power to dictate terms, and their reluctance to sell without a replacement drags the saga into dangerous territory. But Tottenham, desperate and ambitious, are ready to sacrifice players like Bissouma and Højbjerg to raise funds. If they land both Ez and Savinho, this won't just be reinforcement, it'll be a declaration that Spurs refuse to fade into mediocrity. And then comes Manchester United, club where drama is as constant as ambition. Their eyes are firmly on Brighton's Carlos Baleba, the 21-year-old midfielder already hailed as a generational talent. United have chased him with relentless intent, but Brighton, masters of the market, know their worth. They rejected a player plus cash offer, raising the price to an eye-watering £100 million. Baleba is seen as the heir not just to Brighton's midfield, but to the Premier League's future, even more promising than Moises Caicedo before him. For Erik ten Hag and Ruben Amorim, Baleba represents the next phase in reshaping United's core after losing Christian Eriksen, and with Casemiro's decline looming, yet there's danger lurking in the shadows. Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, always with one eye on the horizon, sees Baleba as a natural successor to the likes of Ilkay Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. If United stall, the deal could be hijacked in broad daylight. Financing such a move may even push United toward selling Alejandro Garnacho, an idea that would enrage fans but shows the level of desperation. This is no ordinary transfer. This is a battle for supremacy, a fight to determine who controls the heartbeat of English football's next era. Elsewhere, Newcastle United are working quietly but effectively. Aston Villa's academy graduate Jacob Ramsey is edging closer to St. James's Park, a deal fueled as much by financial pressures as tactical needs. With Aston Villa needing pure profit for their balance sheet and Newcastle's midfield suffering from injuries and departures, Ramsey fits like a glove. Eddie Howe is convinced the 24-year-old will thrive alongside Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali. And the player himself appears eager for the move. West Ham may still try to intervene, but all signs point to Newcastle securing a midfielder who could make his debut against his former club, a twist of fate that football loves to script. Liverpool, never one to stay quiet, is also moving with precision. The reigning champions are plotting a defensive double strike, targeting both Marc Guéhi from Crystal Palace and the prodigious teenager Giovanni Leone from Parma. Guéhi, Palace's captain, has just a year left on his contract, making him ripe for transfer at around £35 million. Leone, on the other hand, is a bold gamble. Already being hailed as Europe's brightest young centre-back at just 18, he idolizes Virgil van Dijk and sees Liverpool as the perfect stage. For Arne Slot, this isn't about choosing one or the other, it's about depth, succession, and building a fortress for years to come. With Van Dijk nearing the twilight of his career, Joe Gomez injured again, and Ibrahima Konate potentially leaving, the urgency is undeniable. If both deals land, Liverpool's backline will carry both experience and youthful brilliance, ensuring their reign doesn't crumble under defensive fragility. Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest is on the verge of completing one of the summer's more understated but intriguing moves. James McAtee, long trapped in Manchester City's stacked midfield, is finally being freed. After 2 successful loan spells at Sheffield United and a triumphant U21 European Championship with England, McAtee has agreed to join Forest on a permanent basis for over £20 million. With personal terms settled, Forest is ready to hand him the keys to their midfield, especially after losing Danilo and Lewis O'Brien. City, smart as ever, has inserted a buyback clause, safeguarding their future in case McAtee flourishes. For Forest, though, this is more than just a signing. It's a statement that they belong in European competition and will fight to stay there. And then, lurking in the distance, is a story that feels like destiny. Manchester United, always entangled with drama and nostalgia, are already preparing for 2026. When Harry Kane's release clause at Bayern Munich becomes active, the clause is simple: £56 million and he's free to return. At 33, Kane may not be the same force, but his hunger to break Alan Shearer's Premier League goal record burns brighter than ever. With 213 goals already to his name, he is just 47 short of immortality. United's decision, however, hinges on the success of Benjamin Zacco, their £66 million signing from RB Leipzig. If Zacco blossoms into the number 9 United have long craved, the Kane dream may fade. But if he falters, Kane's return could become a necessity, a symbolic move to finally restore the club's dominance. For Kane, it may be the perfect final chapter: a return to England, a chase for history, and a shot at cementing himself as the greatest striker the league has ever seen. As the transfer window edges closer to its climax, the stories intertwine like a web of ambition, rivalry, and desperation. Donnarumma's tears in Paris could lead to triumph in Manchester. Tottenham's revolution could either resurrect or ruin them. United's obsession with Baliba could redefine their midfield or collapse under City's shadow. Liverpool's defensive rebuild could shape their dynasty, while Newcastle's bold move for Ramsey might mark the next chapter in their rise. And looming over it all is the possibility of Harry Kane's homecoming, a story that football romantics will never stop dreaming about. The summer isn't just about transfers, it's about futures being written, legends shifting allegiances, and clubs gambling everything on the promise of tomorrow. One wrong move could cost titles, millions, or even legacies. One right move could change history forever. So the question remains, which of these gambles will pay off, and which will end in heartbreak? Will Donnarumma wear City blue? Will Tottenham's revolution succeed or implode? Will Ligue transform United or be stolen by Pep? And will Kane truly return to chase down immortality? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, this transfer window will be remembered as one of the most dramatic in football history. That's it for now, but the intrigue is only just beginning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Which transfer do you think will define the season? Could Kane's return become reality, or will Donnarumma's shock move steal the headlines? Join the conversation below and stay tuned for more breaking stories from the world of football.